Greetings. Welcome back to a cup of conversation and food for thought. Sorry, y'all. I had to get off the live for just a moment, but I'm back. I ended up recording my whole conversation on another thing, but it was my own personal thing, so I was hoping that I didn't get it on the live with you guys. But welcome back. This is just a continuation on to the last live that I just abruptly got off because I had an emergency I had to handle. So let me get to where I can find some music. All right. I want to do come back and say again, I do not own the rights to the music or the conversation. I do not own the rights to the music and the commercials. The commercial is just playing because it's all connected, and I use that to help keep me grounded, to kind of set the tone, um, and to just flow. Because sometimes the songs contribute to the conversation that we're talking about. So the topic of discussion is how to get rid of insecurities. I just want to have a conversation on how to get just insecurities, period. And through this conversation, always, I remind people, put God first. Always, whatever you feel you need, you have questions for, take one-on-one time with you and God and seek God for direction and for guidance. Um, I am team God, Mother, Father, Creator, Universe, all the way. And when I speak and when I say it's me and God. That's how I flow. Um, so, um, and I'm saying all this to say because I had someone that came on a live yesterday and they said, well, keep your focus. Don't lose sight of your focus. My focus is always on God. And I'm focusing on what my path is, or what I believe my path is. And my path is to help people through, uh, you know, helping them overcome certain things through communication and conversation, because communication and conversation is a form of healing. I consider myself team healing. I like to, I like to help. I like to think that I'm here to help others through healing, through communication, through conversation. Um, Sometimes we don't know what's bothering us because we put so much things in or hide them underneath, and everything piles up on top. So we tend to lose sight of what it is that caused an issue or a problem or concern or irritation in the beginning. So by communication and talking things out, you versus what you hear when you're listening to conversations. Certain things in you might be tugging at you to come out or pulling at you. Somebody might say something, you have a reaction to it. So sometimes those are triggers to kind of let you work on something that you didn't know you had an issue with. I'm curious to know where you guys who are on this live, where you are watching from. Feel free to tell us your location so we can see how many people around the world that we're reaching. I'm currently in North Carolina. If you want to share with us and let us know where you're coming in from, and I always extend an invitation for you to contribute to the conversation and the communication. If there's something that's on your mind that you want to share that can be beneficial and helpful to somebody else, please feel free to do so. If you have any questions or concerns, leaning in the direction to try to help others get out of whatever situation it is, feel free to do that as well. Um, Sometimes we don't know our situations or our circumstances or the extent of the level of it because we're in the middle of it. And if we're in the middle of it, we can't really get a glance of everything that's going on. Sometimes you got to step back and step out so that you can get a clear picture, so that you can come up with a plan or a way to try to maneuver and fix whatever it is that you need to fix, go through whatever it is you need to go through, come out on the other side of it, be successful about it, and to just share that with other people, because we're not going through things just by ourselves. A lot of people are going through some of the things that you're going through, and um, we just need to you know keep in mind that we are here to help one another. We need one another. Um, And if you have any suggestions, topics, or whatever the case that you want to talk about, we can talk about that. If it's way off topic or something that's too big, well, then we'll put that in the parking lot, and then we'll have another segment to where we can talk about that to the fullest. One other thing too that I do ask of you all, if by chance something that I'm saying makes sense to you, and you can relate to it, or if I helped you, in any way, if I helped you in any way, I give honor and glory to God. But For me to see that I am on the right path, the right page, I ask that you tap those hearts just to let me know that you are um, understanding or relating to what I'm talking about. Like my conversations are not way off base. Those hearts kind of keep me also focused on what it is that I need to say to you all out there, or what it is that needs to be more, attention to, whatever the case might be. So if you don't mind tapping those hearts, I greatly appreciate that. If you don't, that's fine too. Either way, I know what I'm doing is in the direction of where I need to go because it's coming through. I'm a vessel for God to use to flow through. So I just come up with topics just to kind of have a pinpoint area to discuss or to talk about. Thank you for the hearts, much appreciated. But I do know whatever comes out, it's not scripted. I might have some key points here, but that's all it is. It's just key points. It's not everything that's coming out this vessel. So that's how I know if I can flow for a whole hour or more than a whole hour. And all I have is like maybe 10 or 4 sentences on here, 10 or 15 sentences on here. Then, God is using me to flow. But either way, so here are some strategies that you can look at to come out of some insecurities. And then I'm going to talk about what are some insecurities. Maybe I should do it right, vice versa. Either way, identify the triggers and support the script. Support yourself from the thoughts. Run a reality check and then shift your focus outward. So, what are some insecurities? Hello, how you doing? Thank you for joining the live. Much appreciated. What are some insecurities? So, insecurities can be something, and people probably say when I say insecurities, you probably think that I'm talking about relationships. Yes, but that's not the only thing that you can be insecure about. Insecurities can be your mindset on how you think about money or what you think about money. Somebody asked me earlier on my live what was one of my insecurities. One of my insecurities is to not feel like I am doing all that I need to do. So what I had to work on, because I was always a busy bee. I was buzzing and busy and going everywhere. I was like, shoo, 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 shoo. I was like the Flash. I was doing a little bit of everything to maintain and try to live a life and provide for my family. That's a funny line I just read. Thank you. Thank you. But what I was saying was, I used to be so busy moving around. Um, so what was I saying? Y'all trying to distract me. But yeah, I was busy. So one of my insecurities was when I had to get quiet and realize that that quietness was helping me. I had to get to a place where I could focus on me and spend that one-on-one time with me and God and be able to move forward in the direction in which God wanted me to. So I had to learn how to slow down and not feel so guilty for slowing down. In other words, the enemy will try to make you feel like you're not doing enough when you're supposed to be sitting down, resting, and meditating and reflecting. There's a time for everything. There's also a time for reflecting, and when that time for reflecting is in place, a lot of people may not understand it, and the way that it happens and how it happens. A lot of people definitely may not understand it because they would be like, you should be out there doing this, you should be out there doing that, you need to do this and you need to do that. People can always tell you what you need to do, but they don't do what they're supposed to do. So thank you for joining the live. Much appreciated. Thank you for the compliment. Much appreciated. So I hope what I'm saying is clear. Hello, how you doing? Thank you for joining the live. But if we're what is this? All the same person? Sorry, y'all. Had to change that, y'all, because it's all the same person, and I ain't trying to feel that vibe. It's got me feeling a little kind of off over here. All right. I don't know what that was. There's a connection on that. Okay. All right. There's a connection. So I'll have to look into that later because I'm hearing two different artists and they're connected. So there's a message in that right there. But anyway, let me go back to what I was saying. How to get rid of insecurities. And one of the insecurities I used to have, and I don't have that problem now because I'm appreciating my peace and my quiet. I value peace so much. And when it's time to sit down and get quiet, I sit down and get quiet. Although insecurities try to creep up and say, you need to go out there and get a job. You need to go out there and do this. You got to go make money for this. I need to do all that. And I've done all that. Every corner that I hit to try to apply for work, I hit walls. So in that case, that's telling me I need to actually sit my hind parts down and reflect and listen because this world will try to make you be unhealthy and try to wear yourself out to where you're sick and no good for nobody. And that's not what I want to do. That's not what I'm going to do. Um, so I'm learning to recognize my insecurities and work on correcting my insecurities so they're no longer insecurities. They're now problem solved, challenges overcame, and I can move forward and go in the direction in which I need to go into. So I hope that uh, answered that person's question, and I hope they came back on to see it. Um, I had to get off the phone for a moment to handle some business, so now I'm back. What else I want to talk about? Oh yeah, insecurities. What are some insecurities? Yesterday we had a conversation on. I had a guest, and we was talking about um red flags. And so when I had that topic on there and red flags, there was someone else that had a comment on there. And that was saying, basically don't lose your thought. Don't lose your process. Remember, God's first. God is always first. And I just wanted to just come on and reiterate that we all have obligations, responsibilities, and jobs to do, whether it's here in this physical world or if it's for God in the spiritual realm. We all have jobs to do. And even if it's for the devil, we all have jobs to do. Um, and I'm reminded of Judas. He had a job to do. His job was to deceive Jesus. Jesus had a job to do, knowing that there was someone in the camp there to deceive him, still had to go forth and do what it is that Jesus had to do. So when I come across and I talk, I consider myself almost like a bridge. Okay. I'm not wrong for considering myself a bridge because we live here in this 3D and we also have a spirit realm that we also live in. And all of it, believe it or not, is on this. Well, no, I'm not gonna say that because you're gonna come at me and say, well, I feel that, okay, a lot of that is on the same platform, but it's just almost like, different. I don't know how you can do it, but thinking of that movie, Doctor Strange, and how the mirrors, you flip and you go around, one way is this way, go another way is that way, but it's the same playing field, like the same life that you live in, just two different um aspects of it. I'm gonna leave it at there. I don't want to confuse nobody. But when I ask you guys for suggestions and advice on topics and so forth, I appreciate all that and I will use those on this live and we can have conversations about it because somebody is needing to have some type of healing or release or something to help them get past what it is that's holding them in a spot where they can't move forward. So when I come on, I might come across and appear as talking to you from a three-dimensional standpoint, and then I'll come in and I'll talk to you on a spiritual dimension standpoint. And then I just kind of connect it together because we have so many people that's here to give out messages, to tell people, to warn people, to help people, to get people to know, listen, you better get it right. You got to get it right. And I'm telling you all, you got to get it right because our days are numbered here. The world is showing you outside how it is disintegrating right before our eyes. In certain places and planets or parts of the world, there's like millions and millions of people who are no longer here that are being unalived. So this is the time to be aware of what's going on. This is the time to put your focus up towards God, the high mark, the high calling, so that you're not letting all this surface level stuff pull you down. You need to have a focus point because it's that focus point that's going to get you out of what is here. And God placed people to meet you where you're at, to speak to you so that you can connect. In other words, the way I speak is not how somebody else is going to speak. And the way somebody else is going to speak is not how I'm going to speak. That doesn't make neither one of us wrong. It just makes us different. And because I come across one way different and don't come out as hardcore as you, does not make my word, my direction, my way any less than yours, and vice versa. If I come off and I might sound like I'm very intellectual, I can speak, I have a clear voice, and you can come off cross with your force and you're talking tough and stuff like that, that doesn't make um you less than me. It just makes us different. We have the same mark, and that's the mark of the high calling. That's the mark to get all of God's soul, God's people to go to where God wants you to be. To remind and tell people that you have a time that you're going to need to make a decision. We have free will. Yes, that is given from God, but there's choices you're going to have to make. And to continue on to move to the next realm, the next level, the next dimension, you're going to have to make some choices. So God got people out here to speak to you all on whatever level you are able to relate. Do not criticize or tell somebody else that they're not doing the will of God because it doesn't look like how you do it. We're different on purpose. Look out the window. Go to the store. You're not gonna see You're not gonna see two people alike. And when I say two people, you can see some couples that's been married for like 60 years. They look like two. They look like one, but two people that look so close. So that's why I say you're not gonna see no more than two people that look alike. We're all different. This world is different. It's intentional. It's strategic. It's on purpose. We're not supposed to be alike. The world wants us to be alike, but we're not. God created us each individually different. And with that creation, God gave us all free will. So you have a choice to do good or you have a choice to do bad. I believe that we're duality. Some people will tell me that we're not. I believe God is duality, good and evil. But some people will say, well, no, God is not evil. God is a God of love, but God is also a God of wrath. God came in the beginning to try to save people. Well, Jesus came in and God came in man form through Jesus. And came through to try to help God's people get back on track. He approached it through love. He got crucified. Jesus is coming back. He's not going to come to through the form of love. I don't think, my opinion. I think he's going to come back through the form of wrath. Why do I say that? Because of what's going on outside in the world. Do I need any other evidence to say that my opinion is different? But this is a discussion on insecurity, so if it falls in anyway, it's just on how you digest it. But insecurities can come through even when you're trying to do the right thing. So people can try to help people, even when I speak and I tell people if something I say confuses the mess out of you, I am not for you. God is not the author of confusion. The devil is. And I don't come to confuse. I come to try to clearly, precisely say exactly what it is I believe God wants me to say. It's just my way of saying it might be not come to not it might not be conventional to how you see other people say it. And this is not to call me a preacher. I'm not a preacher. I am a woman of God. I am a spirit being. God is created in the God is a spirit. God is not a person. He's a spirit. She, mother, father, creator is a spirit. I'm created in God's image. I'm a spirit being living in this world, but not of this world. So therefore, I feel I go through things to help other people because I'm in the middle of nowhere and I have all these feelings and emotions and things that I've gone through in my life. And I know it wasn't just for me to go through to keep for me here in this little corner. No, it's to share with you all out there to help you all out there know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. There is a solution to every um action, consequence, or whatever the case might be. So that is why I am here to help you all uh to do. through communication and conversation, a form of healing. What would you do if when you okay, so he said yes, would go. Have no idea what you're saying. It's like you had a conversation with somebody else on the live, so maybe that's what you're doing. Hello, how you doing? Thank you for joining the live. If you're just joining the conversation, is how to get rid of insecurities. What are some insecurities? So insecurities can be those voices that tell you, don't sit down. You're sitting down too long. You need to get up and do something. You need to go and do something. You got to go and keep busy. Keep going. Go, 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 go. That is not what we're all supposed to be doing. We have to work, yes, because we're in this world, not of it. Um, or find ways of means to have money so that we can survive here in this world. Yes, this world is disintegrating, but does that mean stop living because of what we see outside? No. This means now more than ever, people need to be more aware of and need to understand that there is a higher power, that there's a choice that we're going to have all have to make. And there's some obstacles and things in the way that's going to try to prevent you from getting to that point. From the speaker, from getting to the people that's listening, from the people that's listening to receive from the speaker, from whatever. So I'm here to try to just influence people to do the best that they can. Don't get discouraged and give up because of what they see outside. We still have breath in our bodies to live and do what God said do now. So we still have to move from that standpoint. I hope that I'm making sense to you all out there because I feel like I'm flowing, but then I feel like I'm flowing from side to side, almost like walking like a penguin. So I'm still in my lane. I'm just walking side to side. I don't know who neither one of those are, unless you're talking about the sports. Um, insecurities. Insecurities could also be you could be at work and you can be in a position of doing your job, and other people can see you doing your job, and to them it might be a challenge, but for you it's not. So their insecurities will creep up on them and say, well, you know what? They might come and try to take my job. Or um they're doing too good. I don't want them to accomplish or reach a goal. I want them to do it. I want the other person to get it. But this person's showing that they can do both. And this one here is still stuck on the other thing. Whatever the reason is, insecurities can be those voices that you're going to hear in your ears. Um, to make you think that what you are doing is not as much as the other person, or whatever the case may be, or vice versa. Um, Once you recognize that you have gifts and talents and love yourself and know what you're capable of, know who you are, whose you are, and what you carry, you don't need to be insecure about your abilities in whatever you do. Just be the best at whatever you do and be unapologetically, authentically yourself. Period. You win when you come across being who you are. When you start changing who you are to accommodate other people, that is not where you win, that's where you lose. You lose yourself, you lose your direction, you lose your ability to stay in your lane, and you start shifting over to the next person. It gets crowded when you got too many people on one lane. If you got your own lane, it's just you on there. You're moving forward at your pace, the way that you know how to. So um I'm stuck on the voices. So I'm gonna go back to something else. I'm gonna jump into relationships with insecurities. You got people, and I don't judge, I'm not here to judge, but you got people, and I've met several people, I've met several men that have these insecurities of past relationships, right? And they let these voices have a field day with them. Now, if you are with somebody one on one, you talk to them all the time, you might even be around them all the time. You know that person. Y'all have that energy, y'all have connected, y'all know each other. But still, these two people whether it be both or one or the other, would take on whatever they're hearing in their surroundings and let that activate their insecurities. And then they start throwing those insecurities on the other person. Or it could be vice versa, throwing it on each other. And all you got is that game of what are that those two sticks, and then you on this old Atari game. You have those two sticks and then a ball in the middle, this mm, mm, and it just goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Nothing resolved, no entertainment, no interest. It's just a boring mm, mm. The ball is just going back and forth, back and forth. Nowhere to get out to escape because it's just back and forth insecurities being thrown on each other or one on the other. My day is great, thank you. How was your day? I hope you're having a wonderful Monday. I'm trying to get motivated, y'all. I'm still in school, and I'm anyway. Let me get back to what I was talking about. I just shifted over, but yeah, I've been around or witnessed men with their insecurities to where they have the opportunity to talk it out with their significant other or their partner, but choose not to talk about the issue at hand, but will talk about everything else. Um, I can't stress enough how important communication is. Communication and conversation is so important in relationships, in friendships. Thank you for the compliment. And even daily parents and children. Communication is important. God is important. God is a very major part of what I do. Um, my existence is because of God. Now, I get upset too. And somebody might say, well, then when you get upset, do you put God there too? If I'm not going beyond my limits and putting my hands on you, yes, God is there too. Hello, how you doing? Thank you for joining from Iraq. We all have to repent. We don't repent to each other. We repent to God. We got a lot of people here that's saying that you are the guide, not the big G guy. Every, every knee will have to bow and every tongue will confess. That is true. If you're not going to be professional, I mean, respectful on here, I'm going to be professional. But if you're not going to be respectful on here, keep your comments. That's not respectful to yourself. Um, but yeah, um, but yeah, I kind of went over. Let me slow down a little bit. Um, but one of the spotlights, I have given some key points on this earlier when I was talking about the strategies. Did I even finish that statement? Hold on, let me go back to that. Before I do that, I saw this guy that was on here, minor for something. I don't know what his name is, but I see him on the lives, and he's very encouraging and entertaining. But anyway, he flows, but then he'll shift for something else and flows and shift for something else and flows. I was like, oh, I'm not the only one. I do that too. I will start off on something and then I'll see something in a shift to something else, and I see something in a shift to something else. So I'm learning every day how to pick and choose what to say to y'all and what to hold to myself. That's why I always pray, God, less of me, more of you, God. I don't want to put stuff that's for me out for y'all. That's for me. I want to put stuff for you out for you because it's for you. And so he was talking about how he would, say something, he would shift. Thank you. I made these with buttons, two buttons into one. But what was I saying? Yeah, he was shifting just like what I just did, went to one place and went to another. Even though I shift, my points still connect. I kind of, like I said, I consider myself like a bridge. I bring things from all over and I try to make it fit so it can flow with the help of God, Mother, Father, God, universe. Okay. So That was funny what I was seeing, and I'm reminded, like, yo, I do the same thing. But I do hope and that what I say is making sense. So again, I'm gonna ask you if you can tap those hearts, if what I'm saying making sense, if you're still riding on this wave with me, tap them hearts to let me know that you understand what I'm saying. You know where I'm coming from. It's making sense to you. Um, but yeah, tap. Sorry, songs jumping. It's a distraction, but that's all right. But insecurities. We're talking about insecurities and how men will take those insecurities and throw it out onto the women. Women will talk about things, most women. You still got some women out there that won't talk. But you got women out there that normally they speak, they talk. That's how they communicate. Men, they don't talk so much to who they need to talk to. They'll talk with their boys or with other people. But when it comes to the woman that they're with, the conversation a little bit different. And so let me try to help those people right now, those men that have these insecurities because they have been through past relationships with women that have done them wrong. Every woman ain't like the woman that did you wrong. Okay? And keep in mind that there's two. It takes two. So if by chance you were in a relationship with somebody and they did you wrong, what part did you play in that? It takes two. A lot of men don't want to hold sorry, a lot of men don't take responsibilities for their actions. And I'm not dogging anyone because women do that too. But in this particular scenario, I'm talking to the men. Men do not want to take responsibility for their actions when it comes between the two, man and woman, in a relationship. What you do outside that relationship, men, I'm not talking about that. You take responsibility for your actions out there. And I say this because men will sit there and tell you how they're going to they don't want to hear you with nobody else. They don't want to hear that you're talking to somebody else. And then they'll say to you, "Oh, well, if you start talking to this someone, if I find out this and that," they're so quick to tell you what they want to do and what they're going to do on a negative standpoint, and if it comes to retaliate to somebody else. But remember, it takes two. So if somebody did you wrong in a relationship, what part did you play? I don't condone cheating or anything like that. I'm not promoting that. That is wrong. But it takes two. So if somebody, and this could be for women too, has done you wrong in a relationship, it takes two. What part did you play? And are you accountable for your part in that relationship to where it caused two people to shift? It takes two. Whatever you did to get that person, use that moment to evaluate the time that you have together. Is it still value? Is it still something that you want to be around? Is this person still how you felt when you first started getting with them? What's changed? Have you noticed habits that you thought was going to change but didn't change, and now you mad because they're still the same way and you've changed? It takes two in relationships, not just one. So when these guys come out and start shooting their insecurities on these women and try to make them feel like they're less than, and oh, I'm not doing that. Yes, you are. When you start throwing those little cheap shots of how someone did you wrong and you put those cheap shots on the one that you're with, now they're trying to well, in my case, I'm gonna reflect it back to you. You're gonna see it, and it's gonna cause an argument, and then you'll get upset with me and think that I'm uh not who I am, or something is creeping through the cracks, causing it to be something different. You guys have to take on ownership of your insecurities and what part you play in a separation of a relationship that you've been in. Now, to the women, we also have to accept responsibility for our actions, and uh, take credit where credit is due, for whether it's good credit or bad credit. Period. Communication and conversation is a way of getting together and talking, and whatever knots and so forth that you have in there, so that y'all can't connect out the way, so that y'all can learn to connect and become one. So I hope what I said made sense. I hope what I said didn't sound too one-sided, because what's good for the goose is good for the gander. What you talk about for women can also be relatable to men. Now, yesterday I had a panel. I mean, it wasn't a panel. It was me and another guy that was on. And so you had two perspectives of ideas of what red flags to look for. You had it from a man's standpoint, you had it from a female standpoint, and then you all were open to join in to discuss your standpoint. So we need each other. What picture of Mecca do you see behind me? There's no picture behind me. But yeah, I hope what I said made sense. Insecurities can creep up in relationships, and it creeps up in relationships often. You know, you got people that would watch, and I'm gonna give examples for what I could talk about. If it relates to you, fine. If it doesn't, then maybe it'll trigger something else to bring something else to your attention, to your mind. Because when I talk, you hear, and then other things come to you. When other and vice versa, when you talk to people, they hear you, but other things come in too. So then it's a matter of trying to better understand what's being to better understanding what's being said so that we can understand it. In other words, it has to make sense to you. Make it make sense to you. Okay. And if I'm making sense to you, please tap those hearts. Tap, 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 tap those hearts, please. I appreciate it. Tap those hearts. Let me know that you are here, that you're hearing me, and share where you're coming from. Share your live. I mean, yeah, share this live. Yes, please share this live. Please like, share, subscribe, and check me out on other platforms. I need to go back and do the other one, but I am. I just I need to find I just gotta do it, period. No more excuses. I just gotta do it. But so I listed some insecurities. I went down the line when it comes to men and women. Now, women, they have insecurities too. They've been through bad. Some may have gone through bad relationships, and then they use those insecurities and throw it out onto the man. And then here, the man is trying to be the best man that they can be, but now they're fighting against insecurity because the woman is trying to put them in a category that they're not in. So I believe there are some good men out there and there's some good women out there. And I believe there's some terrible men out there. There's some terrible women out there. And I believe that people have perceptions on what they think men and women should be. You know, and some people have preferences of what they look for. Some people can have a preference for another person based off of their exterior appearance. Some people can have a preference for others based off of their interior um, experience. And I'm saying, like, as far as um my mind shifted, y'all. Um I'm gonna leave it at that. It shifted. So and when I say it shifted, it's like on to the next. That was for somebody, and I need to go on to the next thing. Um, but what came to mind that took over that last thought was insecurities. If you get in the presence of somebody, and when you get into if you start talking to that person or you get around that person and you feel comfortable, you feel relaxed, you feel peace, acknowledge that, recognize that, and and keep that feeling so that way you know what it feels like to be around that person. And then if you get around another person and you feel agitated, you feel angry, you feel a bunch of energy, like somebody just zapped you with something and it's left you like, you know, y- acknowledge how you feel around that person and walk away. Politely end that conversation and walk away. Get yourself together and then continue to move forward. Um, People can wear their insecurities. And if you are sensitive, meaning you can feel other people's energies, that insecuritiness or energy of secure insecurity on that other person, and you're empathetic or empathic, and you have very sensitive senses to energy, you're going to feel those insecurities too. And you can be confident about to do something real good. I got this. I'm gonna do this. I got this. I got this. And then you get around somebody that's insecure and scared and nervous and give you those shocks of it'll drop your confidence like, hey, like, oh shoot, what? Oh no. Oh my heart. Oh, I gotta stop for a minute. Pay attention to your surroundings, y'all. It all it all depends. Sure. It all depends. Now don't be using my DM to try to kick game. If you really want me to help you, then you can DM me. But don't DM me something about a situation and you really don't want my help because my time is important, whether you think it is or not. Palestine's in the house. Thank you for joining us from Palestine. Palestine. Um, share with me where you're from. So can you say it or not? Why are you ignoring me? Say what? What are you asking me to say? Hello, how you doing? Thank you for joining live. Get off my live with that nonsense, please. We talking about insecurity, so you came right on point. What's your insecurity that you can't let somebody be who they be, dress how they dress? Men can show insecurities too because they don't have control of what they got. So they try to make sure they try to take control of other things and try to put in other people's head that you are theirs and that you now they have to be controlled by them. That don't work for everybody. If that's how it worked in your culture, then go back to your culture. That's not how it worked for everybody. Hello, how you doing? Thank you for joining the live. Said it. I tried to say it. Why you? What's the matter? What are you saying? Okay. What is the the GDs? What's the GDs for? All right. But there's so many things that I want to say. Do. Um. That just made me feel a little bit excited, y'all. Happy. Thank you. That's part of you too. I'm not excited. I'm just feeling joyful for the music. It just uplifted me real quick. I don't know what you're talking about. These are songs I used to jam to. No, I will not. I will not pick up your call. I will not pick up your call. Listen, this whole topic of conversation is how to get rid of insecurities, and I am no longer allowing people to put their insecurities on me. I don't know what that means. Why would you do that? Insecurities is important to discuss. A lot of people don't know when their insecurities are being thrown on to other people. Now, we talked about what some insecurities were, which I kind of gave examples, but insecurities is when you could when you feel less than, if somebody's trying to make you feel less than, and actually no one can make you feel anything. It's all you that can make you feel insecure. Because if you love yourself and stay positive and confident in who you are, know who you are, whose you are, and what you carry, that insecurity is not going to fly. You're going to learn to recognize what's yours and what's not yours. And I shared earlier that um sorry, I was reading something up there. But I hate when I do that. Yeah, I lose my track of thought. But it's not I believe that I'm not losing it on purpose because of it's not to be said. It's something else needs to be said. Thank you for the gift. Much appreciated. Um, sorry, y'all. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. Sorry, y'all. The music's getting good to me. It's getting good to me. All right, but the spotlight effect. We often assume everyone else is judging our flaws with a magnifying glass. In reality, most people are far too wrapped up in their own lives, hard own lives, and their own insecurities to notice ours. So all of those people that's feeling, oh, they're watching me, or they said something, or what they say, they're talking about me. Every time somebody's having a conversation does not mean it's about you. You might be related to that conversation. And let me rephrase that. If I come in here and I start talking about people or situations or scenarios, um, I might not be talking about you. I'm just talking about scenarios in general and things that many people might be going through to help us get through it. Um, but yeah, I shifted because I want to get back on track. So what I just read was like a reminder that, we may have insecurities, and it could be just us doing it because most of the time the other people are probably not even thinking about you. And this is reminding about how people have these secret competitions. Those secret competitions are insecurities. You can be mad at somebody for whatever reason, but that person may have no idea that you're mad at them. And they're living their life doing whatever they want to do, whatever they need to do. And then you sitting here stressing out and going crazy over whatever, and it's only you doing it for no reason. I like that song too. But let me I let it play. But all my friends have moved to Russia. Okay. All right. I don't know. I'm gonna turn this down because I don't want to get in trouble. So let's move that down just a little bit. All right. And the music was kind of distracting me. I was getting into it. It was pulling me in a different direction. But for those that has joined, the conversation is how to get rid of insecurities. So I named a few strategies on what you can use to get away from it. We talked about insecurities. Mostly insecurities are your emotions and feelings that will make you feel less than who you are or what you are, and how people can put their insecurities onto you. Some ways to recognize that is, you and how you feel. If you get in the presence of somebody and your demeanor change, or if you change, and then um, or even if you have a conversation and you're so happy, you're telling telling some exciting news to somebody, and then they don't want to respond, or they don't respond in a way to where it's like, oh, congratulations, and it's like, oh, okay, that's cool, and then they'll take that your happiness and then talk about, well, you know what, don't let that fool you, don't let that make you think that you all that, or whatever the case might be. Some will be bold just to say that, and some will make excuses to try to pull that excitement away from you and put it on somebody else, or to bring it back to them. That's them showing their insecurities. We should all be happy for one another, period. There's enough wealth in this world. There's enough love in our hearts to move forward. Now, my mind just shifted someplace else because we got all the stuff that's going in the world and how many people that's leaving this world. Um, Even that is a strategic plan, whether it's from man or for God. There's a reason and plan and time and season for things to happen everywhere in this world. But sorry, got distracted again with the music. But we need to recognize what some of these insecurities are. Acknowledge these insecurities. And if somebody is putting their insecurity on you, that's your moment to say, listen, I understand what you're saying, but I'm not feeling like that. And they could say, yes, you are. No, I'm not. You're expressing to me what you feel. You're in your body. I don't know what you're feeling, but I know what I'm feeling. So once you recognize that you're two individual people, that you have your own set of emotions and feelings, they have their own set of emotions and feelings, then you can better understand that, you know what they're saying is what they're putting on you because you're not feeling that way. How's somebody going to tell you how you feel when you know how you feel? Make that make sense. Just like there's this guy on here that keeps telling me, don't show them. Don't show them. Don't show them what? Ain't nothing on here is yours. A lot of people want to take ownership and control over other people because they don't know how to take ownership and control over themselves. That's a form of insecurity. Thank you for the compliment. Much appreciated. When people come on here and tell you what they're going to do, and they sit there and say, like, they're going to take certain things and do certain things with it, that's an insecurity too. Why would you want to take anybody else's anything and do anything with somebody else that is not even in the realm of what the conversation is about or even what that person is about? As I tell everybody here, I serve a God that is greater than anything that's out here. I don't give permission for nobody to use my photos for nothing. So, and I tell you, I work for God, not for man. So if you have a problem or issue with me, it's not me you have an issue with. It's the God that's in me. Thank you for the compliment. Much appreciated. Thank you. I made these myself out of buttons. My groovy buttons. But yeah. Um, so there's people on this live today that are giving me live examples on how to pinpoint insecurities. So I thank you all for that because we have all different types of learners. We have learners that have to see through example and have to, have the visual person explain it to them so they can see how it fits together. You have those that can just take it from hearing and reading, and then you have those that can just relate to you bringing it to something that they are going through so they can understand it a little bit better. Never been to neither one of them, so I don't know. Thank you for the hearts, much appreciated. I hope that you all are having a wonderful Monday, start of the week. I have a few things that I need to go do, and then I'm gonna come back. But I do want to stay on for an hour, and I'm going to try something different a little bit later. But as of right now, I wanted to come on and still encourage and uplift, to still come on and talk about something that will help you throughout your day, to um, help you through any decisions or choices you might be looking at today. for you. I like that song too. But I guess I might be listening to music and jamming today. Figure out what I'm gonna eat for. Well, I know I'm gonna eat for breakfast some fruits. Thank you for sharing. Jamming, y'all. These songs remind me of what I used to do when I was young. Not do, but happier times when I was younger. Dance today, y'all. Get excited. Be happy. Be happy that you have another day to just breathe, another opportunity to make things right, another day to correct what you messed up yesterday to make it better, another day to just move forward. How old do I look? Because I know I done blasted my age because I'm a new age. I am in a new phase of life at a new age. I'm not of new age. I'm a new age, and as far as my age going up. Thank you for the compliment, but no, I'm 50, 32, 50 years old. 50. That's how old I am. Choose. Yes. Someone said you look six. Yes, way. 50 years old. It feels so right that it can't be wrong. You make me strong. Oh, I look 67, you said? Back at you. Right back at you, because I know I don't look 67 years old. I don't even feel 67 years old. Yeah, funny. But two concepts to remember about insecurities. Action comes before confidence. Trade self-esteem for self-compassion. No, I haven't thought about doing that. It's the God in me that's shining through. I put God first. I think we should sing it. There's another one who loves it. Yeah. So fine, you blow my mind with the things you do for me. All right, so we've been on for 58 minutes. I wanted to come on for an hour, and I did. I hope what I said was helpful. I came on with a game plan, but I kind of felt like it shifted, so it's all good. It's all good. So again, I hope, and I wanted to get to at least 1,000 likes, but it's all good. If by chance I'm 19 and I look 81, that's not a good thing to be bragging about. As a reminder, take care of yourself. Love yourself. That's another key factor on looking young. Because if you love yourself, you're going to want to take care of yourself. You're going to want to make sure that you look presentable every time you go someplace. Um, Even if you don't, you're still going to be comfortable and confident in the skin that you're in. If by chance, if you guys can give me some hearts, can I get some hearts to just tap the likes up there? And if anything that I said has made sense to you, or if you think that what I said is been helpful or beneficial to you, please tap those hearts. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Someone to you. But yeah, I thank you all again for the live. I hope you have a happy, happy, wonderful Monday. Um, please tap those hearts. Just two more hearts. Give me two more hearts. And then I'll leave you alone. I like to see a certain amount of hearts up there. It gives me confidence and to keep going, to keep moving, just to keep doing what it is that I need to do. Maybe that's some of the insecurities right there. We all have insecurities. They creep up on you at any given time because it depends on what you're feeling, what you're going through. And sometimes we're a lot, thank you. We're a lot stronger and braver than we think. So don't let those insecurities take over. Sometimes you got to step back and reassess the situation. Sometimes you got to step back and encourage yourself, you know. And if by chance you can't encourage yourself, look on the lives or look on the internet and just scroll through positive stuff. Don't get caught up in those things that's going to be talking to you negative. Don't get caught up in those things that's going to remind you of past things. Which reminds me, I used to talk to somebody who loved watching these cheating shows or shows where they go and try to find people cheating, and then would have a conversation with me and then get upset and then start retaliating through conversations, thinking that I did what the people did on the screen. And I'm like, hold on. That's an insecurity that you are trying to put on me, and I am not on that TV. I'm not doing what them people are doing. I am nowhere near you. So take all of that, scoop it up, put it in the bag, and I'm giving it back to you because I don't want it. Keep those insecurities over there. And if you have insecurities, don't be watching stuff or don't try not to watch things that's going to build up your insecurity. Instead, watch things that's going to strengthen you so you don't have those insecurities. Instead, spend time with you and God and meditate, read the word, hear God's voice, and move accordingly so that you're staying above these insecurities and they are no longer insecurities. They become challenges that you've overcome and now you're stepping on them and they have no control over you. Rhythm of light consume my trying speaking. I don't know how to speak Indonesian. Um Someone asked a question about how to some advice to live with. I can't give you no advice on that if you living with your father. If you don't have a place to stay and you're living with someone who's very toxic, the only thing I can suggest is that you recognize that they're toxic. You recognize some things that will agitate, that you see what you do that cause them to be agitated. You stay away from that. You stay quiet. You be there because you have to, but you stay quiet so that you're not feeding fuel to that fire for it to fester and cause any problems. You spend that one-on-one time and learn. You spend time with God, meditate in the Word, whatever form of word that you use, because there's different types of Bibles, and you meditate on bettering yourself. Once you recognize what the problem is, you work on solutions so that you're not going to fall into that trap. You learn who you are. You learn to love who you are. You learn to appreciate who you are. You meditate and spend time with God in alone places. Listen to things that's going to uplift you and inspire you. Don't give in to the arguments that the narcissistic people will try to pull on you. And you move in silence. That is how you stay with someone that is narcissistic because you have no other place to go. But if you have a place to go, you leave that narcissistic surroundings and you start over rebuilding you from the ground up with God in the center, above, around, underneath, a whole everything around you, and the spirit team that God provides for you, and you move forward. Did I answer your question? Please come back and let me know if I did. You have I am from here, the US. I've lived in another city, but my sin. You can only take care of yourself. You can have a conversation with those other children, um, and you talk with the other children, but you cannot change that man that is your father. I'm talking about this earthly father, not God in heaven. So what you can do is just talk to your siblings, and through communication and conversation, they can process healing that way. Today's topic is how to get rid of insecurities. I was just referring to a question that was asked a little while ago. But yeah, we talked about so far this hour, which we're over the hour now. We talked about insecurities, what they are, how to decipher what they are, what it looks like between a man and a woman on certain situations, and how you can overcome them, and how um, you can acknowledge them through even feeling it. Because you can be standing next to somebody that is full of nervousness, scarce insecurities, and you can be very confident, positive, about to do something. Y'all two get together, you'll feel whatever that person is feeling, especially if you're an empathic person. You'll feel it, and that might affect your your positivity, and then you'll start questioning and start doubting. If that's the case, get away from that insecurity person. But I'm trying to let you know that there's some ways that you can feel it and know what it's like and know what to do when it happens. If somebody tries to put something on you that you're not, just be bold enough to say, hold on, I hear what you're saying, but that's not how I'm feeling. You can tell them how you're feeling. And if they don't believe you or not, it doesn't matter. You already told them what you're feeling. There are huge tools. I hope I answered your question. Did I answer your question when you asked what the topic was about? That is, yeah. This world is full of energy. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and on Sunday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, even on Sundays. Day of the week. All right, but yes. And you're right, yes. So awareness, acknowledgement is important. Know your surroundings, know who you are around, know the company that you keep, and be careful of the company that you keep. Thank you for the compliment. All right, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and get off this live. I hope that you all have a wonderful Monday. I hope that you made it to and from your destination safely. And remember, God loves you. I love you. And you love you. The direction is forward and up. Keep looking towards that high mark. Keep looking towards God. God is greater than every and any circumstance or situation you got going on. Keep your focus up high so that you can strive to go high. You can strive past these level surfaces of things that's trying to keep you bound, and so that you can keep going forward. Until next time, have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. Peace.